Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ted and I talk bass. This is something that beginners always skip. My bass is not plugged in. You should grab your bass if you're able and follow along. The thing that we're going to talk about is physics. Physics is going to be the thing today. So, not going to play much or anything like that, but I want to show you some stuff. All right? We're going to talk about how you physically interact with the instrument. Why is that important? Well, because a lot of times beginners and even advanced beginners or intermediate players are, when I see things, I evaluate like videos and stuff like that. They're looking down at their hands and, fighting with how the bass is sitting. So we're going to talk about that. Like I said, if you have a bass, if you can grab a bass, I'll leave this up for a little while. You can follow along. Now, I'm sitting in an office chair that's got arms. It's not always the most comfortable thing for bass playing, but it's what we got. I'm going to move the arms out of the way. Now, I'm wearing a strap, but this is not good. This is not good. Now, if I do this and I take my hands out of the way, the bass is being held up by two contact points. Right? It's being stabilized by two contact points. One is the bottom here on my leg, and also by the strap. Now, this is not enough. I mean, the strap is doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing what it's supposed to do, right? Now, I want to show you something else about the strap. Now, we're only dealing with the strap. My hands are completely out of the picture. So, now watch this. If I stand up, the bass is still relatively in the same spot that it was when I was sitting down. Right? That's what the strap is supposed to do. That's what the strap is supposed to do. So one of the things that I would like you to do, or suggest you do it if you want to, or don't do it if you don't want to, is adjust your strap so that the bass is relatively the same height whether you are sitting down or standing up. Okay? So let's look at that one more time. And share this video with someone who's interested in playing bass. My little cousin, he's a man now, but he's still my little cousin. Deshaun, this is inspired by him. He's looking to get into bass. And I said, I'm going to do a live stream this morning. Don't miss it. All right? So, see that? If I'm sitting down, standing up. If I'm sitting down, take my hands out of the way, contact here, contact here. Now let's bring the plucking or the pushing hand into it. Now, I call this the pushing hand because the motion is, in my opinion, more akin to a push than it is a pluck, right? We'll talk about that in another video. But the strap is doing its job, and I'm sitting here. I got that contact. I got this contact here. Now let's bring this hand into it, or this arm rather. Now I have a contact here, a contact here, and contact here. This is the thing that people want to skip because it's not fun. It's not fun But this is the beginning. When I was first starting, you know, I grew up in the MTV era. So, I was always kind of, you know, first it was like, how cool do I look, right? And then as I became more advanced in my playing, I had to balance like, do I want to look cool or do I want to sound good, right? So there's that. If I take this arm, and that arm is simply laying over the bass. Doesn't matter if you got a 5-string, a 4-string, a 6-string, 7-string. If you've got a 7-string, this ain't, get away from here. I'm just kidding. Watch what happens when I drag my arm up and I place my thumb right there on that lowest string. For you, that lowest string might be an E string. For me, on this bass, it's a low B string. So my arm is resting. You can follow along. If you have a bass, please follow along. Bring my thumb up there. If you cannot physically interface with this instrument, if you can't, if you're fighting the instrument all the time and you are thinking about it as just some inanimate object that is outside of you, you're never going to be able to play anything. I promise you. Because you'll always be relearning the basic physics. Drag your arm, put it up. When I was teaching middle school band, you don't give a kid a trumpet and have them start just playing things or making noise. You give them a mouthpiece and you teach them about their embouchure, the way that their mouth is formed to create a buzz in the mouthpiece. That's step one. So look at this. This arm is completely out of the picture and this hand just comes up. Now, if I'm relaxed, my fingers are right in the area that they need to be in order to do whatever I want them to do. Okay? Now, another thing I want to say while we're here is that it is my strong opinion that, and listen, I'm a Finnish person. And I know some of us have a little bit more room around the midsection. That's, I'm just calling it what it is. However, something to avoid, if at all possible, is having the bass do this. Okay? Now, I can play like this. Not as a habit, but, but you don't want the bass doing this. Okay? That's going to introduce all sorts of problems. So in this thing, you want that bass to sort of be parallel to your body, right? So here it is again. And you can actually practice this. You can actually practice this. Put the bass down, go away, do something else, come back, and just try it. So here we are reviewing. Strap. The strap allows us to be at relatively the same height, standing up or sitting down. Take that other arm. All you got to do is raise it up. Now, where am I making contact when I'm standing up? My forearm. Right? And I'm micromanaging, but I'm just raising my arm up. That's it. Bass doesn't move much, right? Look at that. And you are right there where you need to be. Okay? Let's talk about the fretting hand. Again, I'm not going to play anything right now because this is about physics And I've said this before, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face, about the fretting hand. Here's what I want you to do with the fretting hand. You see how I'm standing here and I'm just, I can stand here with my hands in my pockets or whatever, right? But now I want you to pay very close attention to what I do with the fretting hand, which for me is my left hand. For you, it could be your right hand. Weirdo. I'm just kidding. Let me do that again. Now, there's another step to this, but just grabbing it. And when I'm grabbing it, I'm not choking it. I'm just grabbing it. The same way that I would grab anything off my desk. Pill bottle, you know what you old people like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. 8-hour pain relief, back and body. Okay. Let's see what that looks like on this side. Arm is relaxed. Everything is relaxed. If that strap is doing what it's supposed to do, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Just grabbing it. Now, after I grab it, drop that thumb. Now, sometimes my thumb will come here, right? Point is, see that space? Grab it, drop that thumb down. You ain't gotta force it down because you don't want that, right? Here it is again. Down, grab it, drop that thumb. Now what happens, you should be able to run your hand up and down that neck, and your hands move. Your hand moves as one unit. Let's look at it again from the front. Grab it, drop it down, and that hand moves as one unit. Look at the top. Hand moves as one unit. Let's talk about this lower position here real quick. I'm not going to play any notes. You're not going to play any notes right now. No notes. No notes at all. Okay? See that? Look at where this finger and this finger are sort of in line with that thumb. And I can move my hand as one unit. One unit. One thing. So paying attention to all of these things, in my very strong opinion, right? As I say from time to time, what I'm telling you is not the way, but it damn sure is a way. All right? It is a way because I've been doing this for a long time and still doing it. So, grab it, drop it down. Now, what you notice in this lower position is I am not trying to force one finger per fret. Okay? In this lower position, instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, which is completely valid at times, if I am going to play 1, 2, 3, one finger per fret down here in the lower positions, there's always a micro shift. Not sometimes, always. Micro shifts. All right? Also, and if you ever decide to play upright, this will be the shape that your hand makes in the lower positions. Excuse me. You don't use this finger on upright until you get up into the upper registers. Okay? So left hand again. Grab it, drop it down. 1, 2, 4. You see? 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. If I shift, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1. Now, I am not at all telling you that you will never use this finger on electric bass in the lower positions. I'm not telling you that at all. But I'm telling you that this is a common shape. A lot of bass lines that are played in this money area, right? A lot of money has been made. Millionaires have been made between here and here. Okay? There's been more mortgages and kids put through college from here to here than anywhere else. Well, that sounds good, but I don't know. But that's my guess. Okay? So let's review. Let's review. We don't have to be here all day with this, but my strong suggestion, if you are a beginner and you find yourself fighting with the instrument, we're going to review. For those of you just joining, we are going to review. Again, I used to teach middle school band, and I have taught a lot of beginning musicians on different instruments. I use trumpet as the example there. But, you get a 6th grader or 7th grader, they don't just, hey, here's a flute, make some sound with it. You know what I mean? It's like, no, here's the flute mouthpiece. And we need to work on how you do your embouchure. That's what we do first. So, here's our review. Sorry, I don't have a wireless mic. Now I'm in a chair. This chair is lower. There are no arms. It's it's more of a task chair. It's very different from the other chair, right? It's lower to the ground. However, I feel like I'm in an interrogation right now. If I take my hands completely out of the picture, that bass ain't going nowhere. That thing ain't struggling. Why is it not struggling? Why is it not moving? You see? Why is it not moving? Boom, right there. So I got 2 contact points. Here, got the strap here. The bass is parallel to my body. If I stand up, the bass is still in the same spot. Okay? Let me sit down again. Now I'm going to bring this arm, and I'm just let that arm just rest across the bass. Bring that hand up. Super simple. Not even thinking about it. Super simple. My thumb goes to the lowest string. I rarely, now this is me, I rarely, if ever, put my thumb on a pickup. I just never did that. And yeah, I just never did it. I've never taught anybody to do it. And I think partly because I don't want to have you think that this is a place where your thumb has to rest. Your thumb is going to move. Depending on what you're playing, it's going to move. So, drag it, bam, right there. Same thing standing. Arm is down. Arm goes up. Thumb is right there. Right? Now, when you get these types of things together, and you're ready to come over to Groove School, you can find me over at TEDtalksBass.com. There's a video library. But that's not the real value of Groove School. There is a video library covering rhythm, harmony, technique, repertoire, But I do weekly live calls. You get access to me. I did a live call last night. I forgot to record it. I do live calls. You get access to me. You can pop in. You can ask whatever questions you have. There's a community over there of bass players who are on similar journeys. Okay, we're about to start some challenges and workshops over there. You can try it for 7 days free. TEDtalksBass.com. All right, so here I am standing. The whole time I'm talking, everything that I'm doing, look at where the bass goes. That's what the strap is for. Bam, ready to play. Okay? Left hand. Let's look at the left hand sitting. Let's look at the left hand sitting. Right? This is a better angle. Left hand sitting. I just did it right there without even thinking about it. So, contact. Boom. Contact. Contact. Right? Relax that arm. Simple hold. Drop that thumb. Look at my fingers. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 2, 4. Also, while I'm here, you do not have to hold on to that thing with any amount of force that causes pain in your thumb. You simply don't have to do it. If you start here and here, right? If you start there, you'll be fine. Right? Because the bass isn't going anywhere. Hold it. Drop. Slide, baby. You dig? Look at that. Let's look at it standing up. Same thing. Same thing. Grab it. Drop. Slide, baby. You dig? Now, I know this is boring for some people, but this is why you can't play. I'm going to just keep it 100. You know what I mean? I'm going to just keep it 100. If you're still trying to play the same thing from last month or the week before last or yesterday and you can't play, it's because you're skipping something. It's because you're trying to go too far into something else. All right? I'm just speaking with God love, baby, the truth. And I say it with love, with respect. And I say it like people used to say it to me. And we gotta, if you coming around here to be entertained, or you want somebody to talk nice to you all the time, I may not be the guy for you. I'm a nice guy, but I will talk just a little bit about, just a tiny, tiny bit about sound, about how to produce sound, okay? We talked a lot about physics. I just pulled this bass out of the case from my last gig. I don't even know if it's in tune. So, right hand. As soon as I touch a string, it stops. Right? Sometimes we get strings making noise. Holy shit. I can't mute. What do I do? Touch it. Jay from PA, Tommy Hayes. DJ Honey Love, 𝗵𝗵𝗡 221. Welcome. Okay. You see those strings are ringing? That's sympathetic ringing is what they're called, right? All I got to do is touch it. That's it. All I got to do is touch it and it's done. Bring that arm up, put it down. Now, remember what I said earlier about plucking versus pushing? Pretty. Touch it. Soon as I move, look. Oh, so pretty. That's it. All I'm doing right now is I'm touching, not holding, not pressing. I'm just touching those other strings. And I'm pushing. Now, I want to play the E string. Thumb touches that B string. Just pushing. As soon as I touch that string, it's going to stop ringing. What I'm trying to impress upon you is to not overthink that. Don't overthink that and don't fight with that. You do not have to. Again, this is a very, very beginner lesson. Right now, if you're very, very beginner, you don't even have to know the names of these strings. You will. But the point is, can you get a good, deliberate sound out of an open string? Pushing. Now you might be wondering how. Tommy Hayes asks a great question. How about how hard are you hitting the string? First of all, I like that you asked that question, and I like that you asked it in that way. I'm not hitting the string, right? So, and this is, and I know what you mean, but this is why I want to be careful about plucking and hitting, because those things denote those things make people think that you have to do. I am touching these strings very lightly. Touching, pushing. Now you might be wondering, well, how is he only getting sound out of the one string? I'm only targeting that string. If there's sympathetic ringing from the other strings, I just touch them. If it ain't vibrating, it ain't making no noise. But notice, I'm just touching. I'm just touching it. This is starting to sound naughty. This channel is not for kids, so you grown. Look, when I went to play that the E string, my thumb just went down, baby. Now watch this. Now I'm playing the A string, but what's happening is my thumb is resting against the B string and it is touching the E string at the same time. Now, same deal. Now I'm playing a 5 string, so I gotta do a floating thumb thing there. But my thumb is resting against those other strings. Now going back down, I gotta touch to get them, but it's just a touch. It's just a touch, okay? So before you can before all that stuff comes, you got to pay attention to some physics. Okay? Let's go to this left hand. I said I wasn't going to play anything, but Pick and Choose. What a great name. Pick and Choose. I just tuned in. I'm going to have to check out the replay for the first half hour, but as a beginner, I've actually been hoping to ask you a question about how we physically interact with the instrument. Bravo. I love it. Well, this video is going to stay public. I may re-upload it. But this video will remain up because I think it's a valuable beginner lesson if you do it. You know what I mean? If you do it. So, and I'm really, you know, I'm really being intentional about this right now, but it ain't that serious. So you want to get to the point where every time you pick up this instrument, it does what you want it to do. You are in control of it. Not forcefully in control of it, but you are in control of it, right? So, look at that. Now, I'm going to, let's see how I can do this. I should have put on a wireless mic for this, but whatever. We're here now. And get real close here. Boing. Boing. Boop. Look at that. Boop. The cleanest place to get a note is right behind the fret. Just behind the fret on most basses. Even now, I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on that note. I'm just touching it. I'm holding the note. I'm not. It's not no Herculean effort, right? Start with one note. Can you play a note and be like, do you know what a good note sounds like? Do you know what right sounds like? Do you know what intention sounds like? Don't try to run a whole mile. Walk a few blocks first. Okay, there's a lot of information for a day. Let me read a couple of comments here. Just got home for this, and by the way, I would take this moment to thank you for turning me on to Songmaster Pro. You are welcome. Help me with the time. With Sometimes I Get Lonely. That's a great tune. Sometimes I get lonely. Pick and Choose says, you study Prince a lot. We're both fans. I'm 5'3". I've noticed Prince did some wrong things with form. Should I be tempted to follow suit? Listen, that is a great question. That is a great question. I am left-handed, but I play right-handed. Why do I play right-handed? Because I was copying what I saw. And there are things that people do that is maybe unorthodox. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that necessarily. But I do believe that it is important to be flexible enough in your thinking to where you know that there are going to be different ways of playing and doing things. So, for instance, I just showed everybody a very kind of textbook standard way of approaching the instrument, right? But if I'm on a gig, or I'm just playing, there's some things, depending on what it is. Sometimes my thumb is going to come over. Sometimes these strings cannot be this dull right now. That's weird. Strange that they feel dull. So my hand will do, different things like that. But it depends on what it is. It will depend. If I'm doing something like... On a 5-string bass, you hear more sympathetic ringing because it's more difficult to mute. That's an area where I would use something like this on a 5-string. Depends. It depends. It depends. But the main thing about this was to get just the basic physics together, okay? I really hope that this helps somebody. If it did, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, hype, all those things. Also, share in the forums. I have a goal to get to. Jade! Where you been, Jade? Jade is in the building. Jade is the princess of the basshead community. You got a problem with Jade, you got a problem with me. 𝗚𝗘𝗦𝗵𝗧𝗜𝗢, I'm happy to have you here. I have a goal. I have a goal to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of summer. And I want the silver play button by the end of the year. Can you guys help me do that? If I continue to provide value like this, can you help me? Can you do that? Can you maybe share with some folks? Tell folks about TED Talks Bass? I'd appreciate it. Fun fact, I posted my first video on YouTube in 2006. Yep, been around here a long time. But anyway, I got some things I got to do. I really hope that this helps. I think that it will. Follow the steps. I may put, timestamps and stuff, but I got to do that later. All right. It ain't rocket science, y'all. It's pocket science. Have the best of days. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people. Peace. 2 fingers.